I'm Rachel from Inspire Bellydance, and this video is for those of my students who are working on veils and maybe haven't done veil work before. Just want to let you know, in my classes you never need to have your own veil. I'll always bring ones for you to borrow. But sometimes people like to have their own because that way you can practice at home with it, and also you can have any colour you like. And for that I just suggest get a nice bright colour. Pale colours, light pastels and white aren't so good, they tend to wash out. And the other extreme as well, blacks and very dark blues, very dark colours, tend to disappear into backdrops. So go for a bright colour. If you have a hip scarf, maybe go for a colour that matches that so that you've got a nice little combo. But more important from my point of view is what kind of fabric your veil is made of. What we're going for in this class, and it's a good standard for beginners, is a polyester chiffon fabric. So just a basic chiffon. Here's one, this is what this looks like. And just to show you the difference, here's an organza one. You can see it's quite shiny, but also when I go to do moves with it, it's got a certain stiffness to it. It doesn't drape as nicely as the chiffon. This is a silk one. Now silk is beautiful to work with, but it's relatively expensive, which is why we don't use it for beginners, and it does move quite differently. So it's very slow in the way it moves, it catches a lot of air. Beautiful, but not what we're after right now. So chiffon, that's the first thing that we're after. Next, in terms of looking at the size and the shape of it, the width that you want is a narrow roll of fabric. So that would be about 112 centimetres. Some fabrics come in a much longer one. If you stand up beside it and you have it down on the ground and it comes up this high, it's too big. So you have two choices. Either choose one that only comes up to your waist, or if the colour that you really want is in that size, you're going to have to cut it down to about 112 centimetres wide. And that just gives you one more edge that you've got to sew up. As far as the length goes, what you want is to take your arm span from fingertip to fingertip stretched out, measure that and multiply by 1.5. So it'll end up being your arm span plus another half. On me that's 2.5 metres, on you that might be more or less depending if you're taller or shorter than me. What that means is that then when you're holding the veil, you'll end up with little wings or little tags hanging down each side. You're meant to have those there. If you don't have those, it's too short and it won't flow nicely. Another thing to consider when you're getting your fabric is the weight of the fabric. So you want to get the lightest possible chiffon that you can. If you find a fabric like this which has sparkly things on it, it looks really pretty for sure, but it's much heavier. That's going to affect the way that it moves a little bit, and your arms are going to get tired using it. So it's okay if you want to do that, if you want to get yourself a good arm workout, but I recommend feeling all the different fabrics. You can even scrunch it up and hold it in your hand like this and compare that to a different one, and you'll soon realise which ones are the lighter and the heavier ones. So there's one more thing. When you've bought your fabric, you then need to hem the edge of it. So if you don't hem the edge, you'll end up with something that ultimately is going to fray. The trouble with that is after a while they can start catching on your hip scarf. So the best thing to do is to actually put a rolled hem on it, like this one that you see here. So you turn it over once or twice with the machine and just do a straight stitch down the edge. That'll stop it from coming undone. So if you have any more questions about making your own veil, just be sure to ask me in class, and otherwise have fun dancing with your veil.